Hello and welcome to AI Fridays. My name is Alyssa Nichol, and with me I have, where are you? Are you over there, Catherine?
I'm
You're
over here.
over.
You were no that way. Yes. Hi, I am Catherine Grace Adams, Senior Design Developer Advocate for Kendo UI at Progress. So this is a new kind of stream that we're trying out where every Friday, I was about to say afternoon, but everyone logs in from a different time zone. Every Friday afternoon for us, we log on and hang out for a little while and just kind of have a casual chat about what we're working on or cool topics that we've seen. And today we even have a guest.
Hi.
Hi, Sil. Sil, will you introduce yourself for people who don't know you? I know you from our Discord and maybe even before that, but will you
Not
do a
from
quick
before.
intro?
I'm Sil, a software engineer from Belgium. I've been working with OpenEdge for 6 years now
Awesome.
and recently joined the Discord.
That's great. Let me grab a link to our Discord if any of y'all are watching and haven't joined yet, because that opens things up to you like cool opportunities to come hang out with us on the stream.
We may
This
or may not
one,
harass you if you have cool enough ideas.
which is pretty much what happened here, right? Like, so you were just talking about self-hosting the AI model that you were working with, right? And all of us were just like, say more, like keep talking. What was that? And that eventually turned into us being like, actually, let's just get on stream with us and walk us through what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So for anyone who is not already a part of the Discord, here is a link where you can come hang out with us. So even when the stream ends, no matter where you're watching, if you're on YouTube or Twitch or LinkedIn or wherever else we cross post this, I honestly kind of forget. But you can come hang out with us and keep the conversation going. There's a really good group of developers over there, and we just kind of hang out and chat together during the workday. It's nice. Anyway, back to what we're actually talking about. So, trying to think about where the best place to get started is. Maybe if you could just kind of give us real, like, super basic, explain like in five, the difference between using an existing model, right? Something that most people are probably using, like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, versus self-hosting.
Well, an existing model is hosted by another company. You have no control over it. If it goes down, it goes down, and you can't do anything anymore. Also, you're literally giving all your data away. I don't know about you, but are you allowed to share internal code to other companies? Because if you're using an existing model, that's what you're doing. Well, a model that you host yourself, it's private. You have control over it. You can configure everything about it. The only downside is that it's slower.
Would
Like,
you?
would you say like half as slow or 10
It
times slower?
depends on your hardware.
Okay.
Like if you have really good hardware, it's still slower than a public model or a public LLM, but it's still it can be faster than what someone with slower hardware will have.
And can I ask honestly, like, is it just as good? Do you feel like the quality
Uh,
of the answers that you get is just as good, or is there a little bit of a trade-off to be had there as well?
they
Also, let
say
me know if you want
this.
me to put your screen up because I can share if at any point.
Not yet.
Okay.
They say that a self-hosted model is less good, but I have not yet noticed a difference.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure because I feel like that probably falls into one of those things where like it might be technically less good, like if you were to measure it according to certain benchmarks or whatever. But if it's good enough for the kind of work that you're doing day to day, then like hitting whatever,
Yeah,
crazy brand new testing benchmarks is kind of less important, possibly even unimportant, right? Like,
that's exactly it. If you don't need all the extras, then you
mhm.
don't then you just don't need it.
So speaking of extras, when we're talking about this model, can it do all the same kind of, like, if you wanted to set up like a RAG situation and attach it to like a knowledge box or knowledge base, if you wanted to like have it do agentic stuff for you, if you wanted to like load in skills, can it do all of the same stuff?
I have done all of those and last week.
Man,
And
okay.
So
and
it
last
works.
week.
Okay, so no real difference in terms of like what you can do with it. And just to clarify, in this case, we're talking about like a LLM, like a large language model, is what you're working with, or
Yeah.
you have something else happening, a
Yeah,
secret third thing.
just a normal LM.
Cool.
And the only like downside I really noticed is you probably heard about context size, the context
Mhm.
window of an LM.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With public models, the newer ones can go up to 1,000,000 tokens, or even higher than that. I haven't managed to get one so high when I host it myself,
Mhm.
because the more tokens that the context size supports, the more RAM you need, the more memory you need, and my hardware isn't good enough to have that high of a context size.
Okay.
But other than
Makes
that,
sense.
it's exactly the same, all the same capabilities.
So are you using like an open source one, like a Hugging Face or something, or what are you running?
Mm.
What model do you
From
have?
Hugging Face, yeah. Just download the model from Hugging Face, and then you throw it in the software and it works.
We did have a comment in chat that I want to raise up where someone said like, doesn't be good enough till the day the model is updated or released. The updates post the model self-hosted will be missing, not generated. But if you're using Hugging Face, that's entirely open source, right? So even as they're releasing new updates, you could hypothetically update your self-hosted model as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
So,
Usually it's like a new model that you're downloading that has the same name but a different version number in it.
mhm.
But other than that, it's basically the same.
Okay.
Oh. Do you notice have you done that? Have you upgraded the model that you're hosting? Have you noticed a difference?
I only had the hardware to host a model for a couple of weeks now, and they have been very busy weeks, as I hadn't had much time to test. But I have had one case. I asked the model to be brutally honest, and it refused to do that because they're all censored by default, and that I switched to an uncensored version of the same model.
Mm.
That's basically the exact same as upgrading a model.
Okay. Cool. I'm super curious about this, especially, and this was part of why I like jumped on it when you were talking about it in the Discord. Because like you, I have a lot of the same kind of hesitations around handing over all of my data to some of these bigger companies, knowing that they pretty much have written into their terms and conditions that they have the freedom to use it however they so like once I've put it into that chat box. So I like the idea of being able to access some of this technology and, fine tune the model in the way that I like without having to upload a bunch of my documents or, know that anytime that I put something into that chat box, it's, being used, whether I like it or not.
Mm.
So how difficult would you say it was to get this set up? And you talked a lot about hardware requirements. And this is two questions. Let me just start with how difficult was it to get it started up?
Well, it's just following a tutorial. You download the program, and depending on what program you download, you immediately have a chat interface and can start typing.
Mhm.
Or you may have to first download the model separately. So
Okay.
it's often way easier than you think, especially if there's a lot of open source stuff available.
So is this something you interface with in the command line? Or is there like a web interface that you're using with this? Or maybe I do just need you to share your screen. Now I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, are you ready for screen sharing? I really want to see
Yes.
how you implemented this. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to add it to the stage. I see you're a dark mode person.
No, I'm a default mode person.
Oh, a default mode. Okay.
VS Code is by default in dark mode, while Windows is by default in light mode. I just leave it all on defaults.
Gotcha.
So I'm using now the client extension in VS Code. I'm just going to say hi to this. And as soon as I send that message, you can see it's not gotten through yet. You can see that there's some compute on my GPU now. No.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the model is now running on my PC itself.
Nice.
Can even show it. If I go to settings, it's localhost.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe you first need to like understand what the difference is in setup between a local hosted or one that you use from a big company.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Can you walk
really
us
need
through
a
it?
rundown on that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I'm prepared.
You really are prepared. This is, I
Not
think,
really.
actually more prepared than we usually are when we go on stream.
30
You've
minutes
officially
before
put
the stream
us to
started.
shame. Yeah.
Just 30 minutes before the stream started.
I love it.
Yeah,
Dude. Okay, so user interface
on one
website.
side,
Mhm.
most people know about the two parts of of the whole LLM stuff. That being the user interface, either a website or a chat in an editor, or like other chat programs like Discord, WhatsApp, Telegram, a lot of AI bots on those. And on the other side, you have the model. What are you talking to, basically? But then there's two more parts in between, being the API.
Look at that reveal.
Are you making fun of his very fanciness?
No, I'm genuinely, that was such a clever way to do it.
I gave you
I'm
the link
sorry.
to this once.
Keep going. It was really good.
No, so there's also the API. Whatever chat program you're using sends to an API. The API receives the request, does the authentication, does all the collecting of the data, and eventually the API will give it to the inference server. And this is a big part of why you need good hardware. The inference server is basically what takes the context, the chat that you gave it, all the tools that it has access to, MCP server scales, all of that, including the latest prompt that you provided. And on the other side, it takes the model. It will load the model into memory, processes the context with all of the tools and so in it through the model, and then generate a response. And this part is what's the big difference between running it locally or in the cloud. Because the models, the exact same ones. The interface, you can usually take the exact same ones. Some interfaces are locked to cloud models, but most of them support local models.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Okay.
API, you don't really need the authentication in between if you're running it locally. You do still need the collecting of all the context parts, the tools and so to provide to the inference server.
It seems obvious in retrospect, but I had not thought about the fact that you would just be linking it into an interface that already exists.
Yeah.
I was like, do you have to chat with it in the like command line, or like where is this existing? But as soon as you pulled up VS Code, I was like, oh, yeah, of course. You could just point the chat interfaces that already exist towards your local model. We do have a few questions in the chat. If you I don't want to like interrupt your flow here. Is there anything else you wanted to kind of walk us through in terms of this flow? Or are you ready to maybe like take a question or two? Either way, it's good.
I'm reading the questions. We're gonna get through it anyway.
Okay.
So
Then yeah,
let's just answer them and get through it.
Let's just keep going then. So
all right. So I mostly use LM Studio. LM Studio, also just a normal chat program specifically for locally run models. I can type to it. Maybe I should start a new chat. I can select what model I want to use, send it a message, and it's going to start responding. And if you're worried that it's slow, that seemed really fast to me.
That did seem really fast.
A bit longer response so you can actually see the speed. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that really
complain.
that does not feel any different to me than like whatever ChatGPT or Claude in like conversation mode, frankly.
Is it mainly because of the large context that starts slowing things down then? Because I suppose in this case we are just chatting with it.
A larger context, from what I noticed, doesn't really slow it down, as long as the whole model fits inside the GPU.
Okay.
So it's once again, the better the hardware, the more you can do with it. But
It'd be nice too, because I know a lot of the models that charge you, right? It starts getting expensive if you want to start attaching documents or like pasting in really long stuff. So the self-hosting also seems perhaps economical.
if you just install LM Studio, you have an option to just download any model you want and start using it.
Nice.
And if you want to say and if you at some point you say, I have no LM Studio installed, I have a model loaded, and I want to use it in other programs, then you first have to go to Developer tab here and turn the server on. That's it.
For anybody curious, I grabbed the link here for LM Studio if anybody wants to check it out themselves. Follow along. Or try this later. I also jotted down the address.
Then I'm using VS Code now, as that's the one that I'm working in the most. And in VS Code, if you use the client plugin, it's as simple as selecting as provider the OpenAI compatible one, as that's the only one where you can enter your own URL. All the others are cloud models.
Okay.
You have to enter an API key, even if the server doesn't require it. So for some clients, you really have to enter an API key. Just make something up. And then the name of the model.
Okay.
Because you could have multiple models running on the server, and then you have to tell the client what model it should select.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Once that's all configured, you can chat to it. You can give it tasks.
Nice.
Generate a script for a live stream talking about locally run AI models in default scripted.
What's with the dollar amount? I don't think my ID has a little dollar amount up there.
Most models that you can,
right.
that's just the extension that I'm using. The client extension always show how much you have used, but as it's run locally, all the time paying is electricity. But yeah, you can see it's pretty fast actually. Faster than I remember from last weekend.
It's getting better.
Yeah, there was an update on Monday with LM Studio, which actually sped up some of the response generation.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
And is the 17.2K out of 120 your context? So you have to like reset?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
If I go back to Studio here, you can see that I have my context set length set to 120K.
And that's you said you based that just on your GPU or like on your hardware?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? Like, do you just wait until your computer crashes and then keep setting it lower?
That's an option.
Have you ever seen that there's an old Calvin and Hobbes comic where he's asking how they put the weight limit on bridges, and the dad is like, they just drive heavier trucks across it one at a time until
Till one goes. Yeah.
I like that. That's genuinely your approach on this.
No.
I feel like it was just the first approach that came to mind, people. Tell
can
us
actually
for real, though.
calculate-
How do you figure it out?
You can actually calculate how much memory you're going to need. Like if I look here, this GPU has 16 gigabytes of dedicated memory.
Okay.
And if I go here in LM Studio, it says it's right there how much it's going to use. If I start moving the slider,
I see.
add more
Okay.
context, it's updated count there. You can generally go above it for a bit, but the more you go above it, the less you're gonna fit in your GPU. If I now say instead of all 32 layers of this model in the GPU, I only put 30 in the GPU. You will see that it's way slower. That's a very big part of running the model yourself. If you can fit it all in the GPU, it's gonna be fast as just like you're used to it. But as soon as it has to start swapping memory out, it's not that much slower, but it's slower. And if you're gonna take a model that's so big that it just doesn't fit anymore and that you only have half of it in GPU, yeah, then you're talking like 4 or 5 tokens a second instead of the 23 tokens a second we had now.
Okay. Tokens are kind of a really hard metric for me to like easily relate.
A short word like this is 1 token. A bit longer word like this one is then 2 tokens. I think this is like 3 or 4 tokens already. And every space is a token on its own.
It's actually interesting the way it breaks down words into tokens, and it doesn't always align with like prefixes and suffixes and stuff, but the idea is like the smallest piece of a word that might contain some level of meaning, you know, so ish for it to interpret.
Yeah,
Correct me. Yeah, ish. I was generalizing.
Every letter on its own is also a token, but once you start using those tokens, it's probably not going to be a good response anymore.
That's true.
Now, the optimal amount of tokens that you can give a model, the higher the better.
Oh, sorry, Catherine.
Both of us trying to put that question back on screen at the same time and canceling out. Yes.
Yeah. Just the higher the better, really. Because the more context size you can give it, you probably heard if your context size is full, you're only going to get garbage out. And that's really true. It's like working on something and continuous being bothered about other projects by your colleagues or by other people. At some point, your head is just full of other things and you can't properly work anymore. It's the exact same thing for AIs. As soon as you're about 50%, I would recommend like compacting your context window. If you're at 80%, just throw the session away. It's not going to get better.
Fair enough.
No, man. I've had sessions that slow down to where it took about 5 to 6 minutes just to get it to like load the window, like the actual window. But it was such gold that I was getting from that chat that I would walk away and let it load.
No.
It is possible.
Well, can't you just have it like summarize and then start a new conversation?
You can, but once you've let it get to that point, asking it to summarize was also you're waiting 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, but then you're only waiting 5 to 6 minutes once.
One time, yeah. Oh, my name's Catherine, and I think things through.
I mean, I guess I've been called worse.
No.
I'm very curious. Do you think this is better for the environment to self-host?
It's still the same amount of electricity, right?
No.
No? For an individual request?
On one side, data centers are very optimized to use to be power efficient. They go through the tons and tons of power, and just a tiny inefficiency in their power usage will rack their energy bills up. But on the other side, the models that you can run on local hardware are way smaller. Like this model
That's
here
true.
is a 7 billion model. That means it has 7 billion parameters. The ones in the cloud that the OpenAI and Gemini and so run on, those are generally 100 billions. There were a couple models in the 1 trillion range already. And the more parameters, the more compute you're going to need. And the more computers, more electricity usage. So I wouldn't say it's better for the environment, as the data centers are usually way more efficient for the same compute. But you're going to have way less compute. So hard to say.
Okay.
No, that's fair. I guess I was thinking about just like the electricity it would take to process a request or whatever. And I hadn't thought about the difference in the model size itself and the optimization of the data center. So good. Yeah, I wonder how that comes out in the wash. I know you don't have the answer to that. I'm just thinking out loud. Like, I wonder what the actual numbers on that would look like. Have you noticed your electric bill go up?
I ordered the hardware that I'm using for this about in December.
Mhm.
This is it. This part,
Nice.
the mini PC itself arrived in February. These arrived in literally last week. So I haven't had it long enough to actually see my electricity bill.
That's fair.
And at the same time, it has been a very sunny week around here. And I have solar panels. So hard to say. Very hard to say.
How many tokens per second are you okay with using? Like what do you have yours set to? Or is that
the tokens per second is what is just speed that it can work at. You don't really decide what it is.
you don't?
I
Okay.
don't. I can't see the token of first response anymore. But this one where not the whole model was in GPU was at 23. I think the first one was like 48 tokens a second.
Okay.
Should probably
That's
load
actually
it.
like really good, right? Like for a local machine.
Alyssa, we've got a request for you to bump your mic volume up a little bit.
Oh no.
I'm laughing primarily because we were telling her this backstage. We were like, "You're too quiet. Like, crank it up."
I'm just gonna hold it.
I want to bump you.
Hang on. I need to make this bigger so that I can. My weak eyes.
Don't think I can zoom in here.
You're getting called out. I think she'd be overcorrected.
I was correcting for the loudness, guys. I was trying to do better. Dang it.
I just reloaded the model, and as you can see, it's a lot of memory usage both in the GPU as in the memory. If you say I have a good GPU, but I have like basically no RAM, there are several settings here that you can actually use to play with to get it to function better. Like if you don't have enough RAM memory, you could disable this one, and it's gonna load faster, but it's gonna run slower. Same with this one. Again, it's gonna load faster but run slower. And there are several of those parameters that you can play with.
Okay.
So if you say I have shitty hardware, but I really, really want to run locally,
yes, it's
just
me.
play with the
I have shitty hardware now. I really want to try it.
Are you calling your Mac crappy, Catherine?
I'm not calling it crappy. I'm just calling it vintage. It's like 5 years old now, you know, but it was at the cutting edge then.
Before you ordered your new setup, could you like run locally at all, or not really?
My old computer is 12 years old.
Okay.
And it's
So
a
worse than
laptop I just got
Catherine's.
for, yeah.
Oh,
It's a
wow,
laptop that I
okay.
just got for like school stuff.
Mhm.
I could run a model, but it was less than 1 token a second.
Okay.
And
Cool.
only
It's fair.
really small models.
Okay.
Okay. Fuel in the chat.
So yeah. 8 gigabyte is enough for a small model. Like if I go to the browser here, this 4 billion parameter model should fit in an 8 gigabyte GPU.
Good
This
news
9
for the
billion
old
one,
laptop crew.
definitely not.
Looks
I
like there are
thought,
tons
didn't
of
Danny
us
say
out
Queen
here.
was? Didn't Danny say Queen was just for mobile? No,
Gwen,
because you're using it right now, but you're not on. You're not on mobile.
I am on mobile. It's a mini PC. It's a mobile CPU.
Okay, that just
I
kind of
don't
broke
think
my
that's
brain
what
a
that.
little bit. Does that
It's
count?
mini
I
PC.
don't think that's what that means. It's just a Mac Mini, right? Or no?
No, it's Windows. But this mini PC uses a mobile CPU and a mobile GPU inside, and then
That's
I
right.
have another GPU externally.
So that's why you're running Queen. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you now. Okay.
Gwen also runs on desktops.
Does it?
Yeah.
All that.
There are some limitations. Like I can't run certain models because they're specifically made for Apple Silicon. So there
Phil,
are
this is
still
specifically
limitations present,
why.
but yeah. Uh, because they're different. The way they
Yeah.
compute, if you optimize a program very good for one type of CPU, it's going to be really bad on another type of CPU.
Okay.
And when you're talking about this much compute, that your CPU is really pinned at 100%, a good optimized model for your CPU helps a lot.
Yeah.
See?
Here's Jenny jumping in to back you up.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Danny.
To be fair, what he's saying is you can run it on your iPhone, not you have to run it on mobile. So, but that is actually very cool. So even if you don't have the setup and the whole shebang, you could try this out and run it on your iPhone.
that's true.
Just
also works on Android.
yes, I guess I should have just said phone. I was just
Yeah,
looking at Danny's post.
And if you say, I would like to try out LLMs, but I don't want to install the software, then you can run it in a container. Like you probably heard about Docker, to run containers on your PC.
Oh yeah.
This one is inside a Docker container.
That's wild.
It's a very popular project right now, but like, open, I forgot the name of it. Open Web UI. Very popular project right now. And all I had to do was run a single Docker command and it started.
That's really cool.
Just Docker run with the correct container and it started. That's all you have to do. It comes
So
by
in that,
default with one model loaded inside of it. And you can just select another model, download other ones, link it to an other external server.
But that's not what you're running right now, correct? Like what you're
I have
using
both
and
running.
demoing it.
I have both running right now. If I go here, these are the models I have inside Olama. That's an other. This is also a one that is very simple. You just download it and install it. And you can chat to it, send images. I haven't managed to get it to generate images, but also comes with a lot of models preloaded. Just click the download button and it will download the model. So the options enough.
Yeah.
We did have another question about hosting the model on the PC or mini, and then connecting over a local network in hopes of achieving better performance. Is that kind of similar to the situation you got set up with your mini, or not so much?
Yes.
Okay.
This one is just in my closet, 10 meters away. I don't want to hear it as the fans are very loud. But I'm connected to it, both from my old 12-year-old laptop as from my work PC in the office. I just connected this one. I run all my inference on this, as we don't have any recent computers at work.
Mood. Relatable.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You might
this is
have
making
to...
me dangerously feel like I could do this.
Because you can. You might have to ask your AI to write an API for you.
What do you think corporate IT would think about this?
I think they would be relieved because this sounds way more secure than what I'm trying to do. So
what are you trying to do?
I was just requesting new AI tooling, and the form that they make you fill out is so, like, I think I could get a visa, like, to work in another country quicker than I could get the AI software approved. So I think, honestly, if you were like, I want to run it locally, they'd be
I
like,
didn't want to run it. Great, thank you.
Please, yeah.
I literally just asked one of the AIs to write something to serve as a reverse proxy. I just gave it this task. It made something. And that allowed me to connect to it securely over HTTPS from work.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be difficult.
Few things in the comments. Oops, sorry, I'm just highlighting a couple real quick. Findle highlighted that the Mac Mini, which I have seen, has been like sold out like crazy because a lot of people are
because you think it's because of this? Like that? Oh.
I do. So there's been like a rush on Mac Minis. And then Fuel says, I want to believe local AI is the future. And me too. Because honestly, like, yeah, I have some thoughts and feelings about not only the ethical, but also environmental implications of some of these large foundation models. And it's hard to, I find it hard to articulate being like, no, I'm anti OpenAI or Anthropic, or like, I don't support that, but I'm not anti-AI technology. This is still really cool and I want to play with it. And I just, I know that I'm not doing it on the backs of, authors that have had their work stolen, or artists that have had their stuff pulled into training data without their permission.
If you look at everything that you asked an AI to do for you, about how much of it was correct and how much of it was completely wrong.
Ooh. Like recently, like a foundation model kind of.
Anything in the last month or so.
Yeah. Probably 80-20 split, correct?
Yeah, that's what most people say. 80-20.
What is it?
If you run a model with like hundreds of billions of parameters, it's gonna be a bit higher, correct?
Right.
Rate that it's correct.
What's going to be higher?
If you run something with
your rate of like correct error. So I was saying, like, if
accuracy,
I ask,
could we say accuracy is higher?
Yes, accuracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you run a smaller model because you want to run it locally, expect that rate to go down. Not by much. It's still like 75-25, but it's going to be a bit lower. And then you have to think, is that small inconvenience of a bit more bad answers better than the high bill, the sending data to external providers, etc., etc.
Yeah, right. I'd make that deal.
I don't think you're alone, Catherine. I feel like the resounding sentiment from developers that I have talked to personally through this AI boom is exactly what you're feeling. Like 100%.
Yeah.
There's also this one.
What is that? What are we looking at? Mildly inconvenient. Wait, it was what? It was up.
Poor Gemini.
If you're depending on something, if you're depending on something externally,
right?
Well, you might miss your lunch. whole ecosystems might go down.
Yeah.
If you're running it locally, you're in control.
Yeah.
And there was a question
Yeah.
actually earlier that I want to circle back to because I now have it also, which was about the ability to like train and fine tune local models, right? So do you have?
Okay. Let's first talk about quantization, as we're going to need that to explain before what we can train.
Mhm.
If I go to Hugging Face, look up a model like this one, 35 billion parameters for the full model, probably already a slim tone version. But if you then look at the files, you see these things, IQ2M, IQ3M, etc., etc. Those are called quantizations. Basically means we take the full model, the full 35 gigabyte model, 35 billion parameter model, and we're gonna extract a part of it. And that extracted part is then a smaller version that you can run locally. Like here, the full model is 69.4 gigabytes. If I look at this one, it's only 11.5 gigabytes. So the quants are easier to run on local hardware. If you want to train a model yourself, you cannot train on a quant. You need the full model to train it. So once again, going back to hardware, if you want to train it, your hardware has to be really good, or you have to train it bit by bit and over a very, very long time.
For the most part, most folks probably won't need to train it per se, so much as fine tune it or append a RAG solution or something to help it.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're only gonna attach an MCP server or a skill to it or all those other stuff, I forgot the names. If you're only gonna attach hooks, skills, rules, workflows, or MCP servers, you really don't need to train the model.
Yeah.
But something that I'm currently trying to do is download a full model, then train it to include the OpenEdge documentation inside it. And the hope that it will be better at writing OpenEdge code, as currently AI sucks at OpenEdge code because there's not a lot of OpenEdge code publicly available.
Right.
Fair. I believe
And
that.
if you can train the whole flow into the model, all of the rules, all the statements, etc., it
Yeah.
might be way better at it. So there are some reasons that you might want to train a model, but unless you have like a whole server farm available to you, or you run the server farm from the cloud, expect the training to take a while.
That makes sense. But yeah, again, I feel like in most cases, you really shouldn't even need to do that. There's so many other ways that you can help kind of do post training and fine tuning to get the model where you want without having to really get into the weeds with the training data.
Most tools, most interfaces allow you to define skills or define MCP servers or rules
Yep.
or have some files locally inside the current active folder that it will always load in the context.
Yeah.
And
Did you show that, by the way?
those have.
Did you show loading in skills like with this? I assume it's
It
the same
depends.
flow with anything.
But this drive theme is more about self-hosting and not about using it inside a specific client.
Okay.
And loading a skill into the model is always depending on the client that you're using to contact the model. So if I select here another provider, or if I select my local host, adding the skill is same within VS Code or within this client extension. But if I go to cursor, adding a skill is going to be completely different. If I go to CloudBot, completely different. So it's not really about where you're hosting the model in the cloud or locally, but more about what client you're using.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show it. It's just skills D3. hub, give it a name, skill, and it opens a file that you just paste the skill in.
Mhm.
Is this your preferred IDE? Just a side rabbit hole question. Is this your favorite?
We're starting wars.
Is that like super loaded?
We're gonna start a fight.
Sorry.
It is the only one that I use that actually supports AI.
That's fair.
Because the OpenEdge app builder does not support AI.
There's a question in the chat I want to pop up. And I guess the real answer is none of us probably know the answer to this unless we know the exact product that you're talking about. But the question was, there are products using AI to build landing pages or themes. Are they training the models or fine-tuning models? And my bet would be fine-tuning or some other form of after.
Neither.
You think they're training them?
No. Not training, not fine-tuning.
Oh, neither.
Fine-tuning is training, but whatever. What they're doing is adding skills.
Different. Yes.
What
you think it's
they
entirely
are doing
skills?
is skills and rules and workflows.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of them publicly available on GitHub. You can literally just go to GitHub, find a repository for AI front-end generation, and just download the skills and the workflows and the rules and insert them in your local EDI.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would be my guess. I would be surprised if there are any companies out there that are not, they're not selling the model itself. They're probably not training it. They're probably leveraging another
One of
existing
the
foundation
reasons
model.
that you might want to do it inside the client or in the API. So going back to this drawing, you can either set your skills inside the user interface that you're using, or what those services are doing is setting the skill in the API. That they in the API define that this file has to be appended to the context before it gets sent to the inference server.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
pros
can't
of
imagine
that
that
is
being
that
extremely efficient. That seems like it would.
Well,
right? Because then you're just basically like slamming it with a dictionary every time it makes an API call. Like,
I was going to open here. This part of the skill is sent to the model always on every request. This part, not.
not.
It's only the model only gets this part when it asks for it. If it specifically says I want to use the skill, it's going to ask for everything else in that file.
Okay.
That's why skills are so context window performant. They don't use a lot of context. While on the other hand, rules are always completely loaded in. MCP servers, the whole definition of the MCP server, all the tools available are always loaded in. Those are going to use a lot more tokens. But those services are probably going to use a workflow. Again, only a small part of the workflow is loaded in the context. Skills, only a small part loaded in. And maybe a couple rules that just say you have to use the skill when in these scenarios. So it's not that much context. But you can change them easily. They're just text files. You can change them in a couple of seconds. On the other hand, if you want to train it into the model or fine-tune the model, hours if you have a very good computer.
Yeah.
Weeks to months for lower-end hardware. Like even this PC that I'm using now, it's going to take months to train a model.
I completely believe that. Yeah, we should see if Progress will let me do it with mine. I'm like,
I'm like, do you need permission? Can you just do it? No, you need permission. What's the?
I do think it would probably be okay for us to run something locally. If it wasn't leaving the computer, I don't see a reason why IT would have a problem with it.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to find out, and that's for me to do it and get in trouble. So I'll let you guys know. If you don't see me screaming from now on, it's because I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
Dental does make a good point there. But 2 million in the cloud if you want it done before you retire.
nope. Both of us stop. Ah. Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
want it done quickly, you have to rent space on servers.
This is also
It's the
a
only
good
way.
Woof. Woof. Yeah.
It's a bad time to get in trouble. But the flip side, maybe I just get really, really good at it, and they're so impressed by what I've achieved that they don't revoke my permission to have a laptop.
I think Ed's doing a whole series about that, right?
Is Ed running locally? I didn't know that.
Oh
It's
no,
entirely
this
possible.
comment from Thindle about
yes.
Progress Agentic RAG.
I didn't make the jump with you. Yes.
Sorry.
Ed is. No, it made sense. I'm the one that put that on screen and then was not even thinking about it when we were talking. But yes, I think so. What's up, Sil?
The agentic rack will help. The one that Progress is hosting is using a vector database.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you just download the files from the EST, it's gonna be files in a directory that it has to search through. The big maybe something else to talk about. When you're hosting your model yourself, you have to think about the memory that you're giving it. Memory can exist in multiple forms. It can either be just text files that it's making. If you have a large project, ask it to write the do steps in a text file or in a Markdown file. It will perform way better if it can continuously check it off, and if it can just close the session, delete that session, start a new session and say, hey, that text file there, that's the progress that we have. It's going to be way better at it, as it can also edit the text file, add more to-dos to it, etc. The other way of storing memory is in a vector database. Back to drawing. A vector database is just a bunch of vectors where each word basically has some coordinates. I should be using the correct tool. Why do I not see it there? Like, you could have a word with a vector like that, different word that adds to it with a vector like that, or you could start in the other direction. Vector database just like use logic like that to map words and phrases, and I think it's 5D these days, literally in a lot of dimensions instead of the 2D that I'm showing here. But it's just way more efficient to search through because the whole vector is loaded into RAM instead of getting files off a disk. It's also way easier to follow a vector than it is to read a text file. So if you're gonna start running locally, do some research into what type of memory you want to give it.
That makes sense. All right. I think, was there anything else that you wanted to demo? Because I think we're getting a little close on time. And we were thinking about being on for about an hour, and we've done most of that. But if there are still questions that people have, or if there's anything else you wanted to make sure we hit on before we wrap up, so that's flexible.
Let's see if chat has any more questions. Scrolling through the older messages to see if we missed anything.
And thank you so much, Sil. We're hopping on after work and walking us through this. It really
no problem.
This really did make me feel like I could do it, and I am feeling more tempted than I think. Like we're gonna stream again, whatever, next week or the week after. It'll be like, look what I made.
Catherine's only gonna be local from here on out.
Ed has been teasing me in chat. He's been calling me Cat GPT now. So I think there's a high likelihood that I spin something up locally and then call it Cat GPT.
If any of the viewers want to talk to us, join the Discord.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Look at you.
This is the same one that Nicole and Phil and Hinal used for the Friday AI with Phil streams.
And yeah, for folks in the chat, I talked about this earlier. This is exactly my primary motivation, is to not feed into the machine. And as much as I would love to take credit for this, I regretfully have to give Ed credit for this. So if you see Ed, make sure to tell him his dad joke is unfortunately popular. And the bad news is
Don't
for
tell
all
him
of us.
that.
Yeah, don't ever give Ed credit. We're just enabling him now. We're making it worse. So we were trying to come up, chat, if you have a good one, because we have Cat GPT for me, and then Claude with the Ed at the end for
Oh, but do you have to like say Claw Ed? Like, do you have to like
Claude? You
Claude,
said
like,
you gotta say it kind of southern, like Eddie Claude.
Clown?
But we really need one for Alyssa, and we haven't been able to come up with a good one yet. The best one I had was Geminical. I think it's a little mouthy. Like, I think we need something better.
Geminical is really good though. I like that. I mean, it does tie me to maybe again harkening back to the cartoon at the beginning of the episode, to the least favorite. But I'll be Google
Chat
stan.
GPT is very. I don't think Chat GPT is beloved right now either. So,
I am Angular fuel, but I have a beef with Gemini team, and I actually had it out with the Gemini team in early AI days because they were supporting React but not Angular, and I was like,
yeah,
what are you
in
doing?
your own house? That is actually kind of
like
crazy.
you would even go and ask, and you'd be like, can you please help me get started with Angular? And he'd be like, sure, and it would spin up a React app. It would like totally gaslight you and be like, here you go.
Thanks.
Here's your Angular app.
That's then because there's basically no React in the training data and a lot of Angular in the training data.
There. Phil wants to know if you are a Gemini, Alyssa.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember.
What? How do you know? What is the?
You don't know your sign?
No. I think I'm Aquarius. I'm February 16th, which I think is the water one, right?
That sounds right.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Know. I said that really briefly. Like I would be. I know mine. I don't know anything else. You'll have to ask ChatGPT.
Not Gemini. Yeah, it's just watery. There's water involved. It's fine.
Close enough.
That's very scientific. You can tell I study the stars.
Yeah, I don't think any of astrology is terribly scientific. You're probably safe.
I think you just made part of the internet mad, Catherine.
That's true. This is my problem to look up now.
The problem is that you're just so fast at it, okay? Like you say you've been on the internet a long time and that's why, but you've got a little bit of an edge when it comes to finding things online. I don't know what it is. I haven't proven it yet.
You are an Aquarius. I
don't know. I knew it was aqua related.
Catherine's in retrograde all the time. Cat in keyboard sounds as the sound of my mechanical keyboard as I
but, like if I hadn't met you in person, I might question it. I'd be like, could she be? But maybe I'm not real. Maybe none of us are real. We're going places.
Maybe I'm not real. That's why you're not seeing me.
Oh my god! Actually, you're not helping.
No, I'm using my 12-year-old computer and the camera just doesn't work.
This is all just an AI voice conversation that we're having. with one of these models.
They are good enough to have conversations like this.
They are. I
No,
saw
yeah.
some really cool talks,
Even
actually.
self-hosted models are good enough for conversations like this.
I got to
that's
go
sick.
to Confu a few weeks ago up in Montreal, and I saw a couple of really cool talks about stuff people were doing with like verbal conversations and voice activated AI.
That's
And
really cool.
it was really sick. So 10 out of 10.
Most of the apps
Feels trying to
also
get us to sing. It's not going to happen.
Is that what's happening? I'm like, I wouldn't say it's been my age. I sat down last night and I said, it's been a day. And my husband goes, it's been a year.
Liz, it's Wednesday. No,
What am I looking at with the
age
GLM 47 flash latest?
Oop.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to be reading that.
I don't even know why I selected this one. Should probably take a smaller one, but I don't have anything of these installed. I just want to show this. Most apps have a voice mode. You can just talk to it, and it will respond to voice as well.
I really love this for, because I'm an audio learner. So not so much the talking back and forth, but like whatever is given to me. And I was actually trying to do this with the code in Cursor and I couldn't find a way to do it. I want it to read it back to me and I could not find a way. Maybe it's because it's like so much code and that would sound weird over audio, but I really love that feature. I use it all the time. I'm a smell learner.
Yeah.
So is my dog. My son was like, why is the dog sniffing everything? I'm like, that's how he interacts with the world. Hello.
What a genuine and sweet answer to a really snarky comment. That's the Alyssa experience right there, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Dental brings up Whisperflow. Whisperflow is a very recent model, which is really great run locally. It doesn't take much, like only like 2 gigabytes or so.
Okay.
I can just talk to it. It's basically a text-to-speech and a speech-to-text converter, but it doesn't do everything else. It's just a conversion from text-to-speak and speak-to-text.
Okay.
I love that so much because there are quite a few things that don't support still text-to-speech or speech-to-text. So that's really cool that you can add it yourself.
You can literally just have a chat like this, talk to it, and copy the text that it gives back, or type something, press enter, and have it speak it out.
I feel like we need this for like doing transcripts for talks and scripts and stuff. This would be handy.
And Microsoft Teams, there are like Note.ai.
Oh yeah.
Writes down notes about the session. Basically a speech-to-text model.
It is, actually.
That makes a full transcript and then an other model that reads that transcript and makes a summary.
Fuel's just bragging now. Some of us are still at work. The thing I have actually been routinely impressed with in Teams, look at me, I'm gonna compliment Ed and I'm gonna compliment Microsoft Teams in one day. This is bad. But Teams actually has a really great translation feature. A lot of our teams are overseas in Bulgaria, and it's really nice to be able to snoop on all their conversations.
As long as we have the transcript, sometimes they don't record the transcript, or I don't know, like some meetings, and I'm like, where is my Bulgarian? I need to translate.
I need the translation. Yes.
Although, have you ever like watched one of the recordings and just tried to guess what's happening? Like
No.
They're going over code. So you can read the code, but like the audio, and you're like, I think I can parse together what they're saying. Oh,
I will admit,
okay.
I have not. I get about 2 seconds in, and I was like, oh, this is not going to switch to English.
Oh god!
I once had a meeting with people that speak English and people that speak Dutch, but they had no common language, and I had to be the translator in between.
Did you? Oh my god! Did it
was
work?
Really funny. Yeah.
It's a hard job.
I'm native Dutch, but I speak English more fluent than Dutch.
That's fair.
So easy.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel in some cases lucky to be an English native speaker because from everyone that I've spoken to, it's very difficult to learn. So in some ways I feel lucky,
Oh.
but also I had to pick up another language and I wish I was bilingual. That talent is so useful and I need an excuse.
I've been seeing ads for these like kind of like Duolingo situations apps that teach you, but they use AI to have conversations. And I feel like that's because I've studied German literally my whole life. But when it comes to an actual spoken conversation, I'm like buffering. Like as I listen,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Watch
huh?
live streams.
So I feel like that would be so valuable to practice with AI verbally, like to have that.
Right.
I'm
I feel
But
like
excited
one
also
for
of
you're
that.
those.
doing when you're doing work around the house, like cleaning or washing clothes or cooking, put on some videos or live streams in German, and you're gonna learn it way faster than
Way
any app.
faster.
You don't
It's a
even
good
have
tip,
to
actually.
actively be busy with it, just in the background.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's happening with the cats? Did you figure that out, Catherine?
What do you mean?
The Snoopy cat AI and the what's
They
happening?
left me because I was Cat GPT and then I was talking about using.
Oh, it's relating back to that. Okay,
It's
I'm
me.
with you.
I'm the Snoopy cat.
You're with it. Sometimes people call you cat, and I'm like, who? Who are we talking about? It takes me
Yeah,
so long to piece it together. You're you. That's you. Okay.
that's me. I'm Cat. Yeah, I don't know how that kind of started. I was never like, please call me Cat. I don't mind it. To be clear, I don't have an issue with it. But I've just kind of adopted it now. And I don't know. When I was growing up, I was Katie, and then and
I
go
with
by
a Y or
Catherine.
IE?
I.
IE.
So why not? This is just the next era of my life. I was Katie, and then in like high school and college and 20s, I was Catherine. Maybe in my 30s, I am Kat. I'm just gonna let it happen. We're gonna see where it goes. I don't foresee a future in which I am ever Kitty.
That's because your imagination is not big enough. If you can't see it,
True.
baby, you gotta broaden. You gotta broaden this.
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy.
Kathy feels like maybe there's a future in which I'm much older. Kathy feels like an old lady name. I don't think I've earned my Kathy
That's when
stripes yet.
you get the tennis balls on the bottom of your walker era.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah.
yeah.
I feel
Someone
like
said, "Oh, psych." Yes. Do I remember the yeah, dashboard from last stream? How could anyone forget? Also, it's still like I'm gonna keep adding to that dashboard. It's beautiful.
I had to laugh so hard with that.
What is Code Sean saying? Catherine, Cat, James, Jim.
some
Yeah,
nicknames
no,
make sense
yeah,
and some nicknames don't make sense.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So because that
Did
was
you know that
also
my GitHub is Alyssa Michelle? Because in college, when
oh
I joined
sure.
GitHub, I went by Michelle. And so I had to like bridge the worlds with my GitHub handle. And you cannot edit it, you cannot change it.
That feels
So
crazy to me. I can't imagine you as a Michelle at all.
it, there is a whole group of people in this world who only know me by that name. And still to this day, I
Wow.
will turn around if someone says Michelle.
Wow. So what made you swap from Michelle to Alyssa?
Oh, I had some like lowercase trauma. And so when I joined college, I was like,
Sorry.
fresh start, fresh me. And it like it was alarming how quickly it took me to adapt to a new name. Like I was instantly that person. And I don't really, I was like, that's weird. But I still had a ton of obviously like high school friends, family that call me Alyssa. So that was why my GitHub handle had both, because I was like both, both. But
Yeah.
yeah, what is Kobushin? Richard? Yeah. No, some nicknames I don't get at all. Although I'm sure there's like an etymology of the word, how it got there.
I definitely feel that way sometimes about like foreign nicknames where I'm sure there's a bridge in the native language that I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the English ones are a jump for sure. also. So maybe it doesn't have anything to do with where the name originated. Maybe it just, I'm not following along. But I don't know. But yeah, I've given up. I've embraced cat. I'm just cat now. So who do I know?
I assumed it was a gamer thing. I assumed you were like cat on Discord for gaming, and that's why it.
No, I actually don't use Discord for gaming. I don't like online gaming. I'm a single player games person. I love
we had to use Discord because the in-game chat on some of our games was so bad. Like it just wouldn't.
Yeah.
If there was lag, then our team would like suffer, and so we had to have the instant. And so that's how I got into Discord. So when work was like, "Will you use Discord?" I was like, "The gaming platform."
No, I love an 80+ hour single player RPG. I don't want to interact with anyone else. Bindle's trying to call me out. What MMORPGs are you seeing me play? None. Nil.
No. Now I kind of want to see it. Where's your history at, man? I want to see it.
I don't think I have it connected to Discord, because I'll tell you what I've been playing recently is that freaking Star Trek Voyager game. So, oh yes, my husband and I are playing.
I loved that.
We're playing it couch co-op mode, so I was not even thinking of it as an online game. But yes.
Also, did you get to the hot dogs scene? Did you get to that?
In Split Fiction? Yes. We were dying.
I don't think there was ever a better moment in all of gaming history. I was so happy.
We need to power through. We're really close to the end, and we just lost momentum. We need to go through and finish it off just to be done. Okay, hold on. I'm going to talk about this really quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
What was that? I haven't heard of Stray.
I thought we were finished, that this was post-stream chat.
Yeah, we're just yapping now. It's over. We're just hanging out. You're welcome to leave if you want. So
shut up. You're actually a cat as Stray? Yeah. Is this for real?
So it is cute. You're this cat in a far future cyberpunky kind of world. My sister was like, you have to play Stray. And the first thing I asked her, I was like, is it scary? Because I cannot communicate to you what a baby I am, especially when it comes to games. There are some scary parts. She lied to me. She truly did.
That's scary. So Dying Light, you never played it?
No, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
And someone was trying to sell me on this horror game called Mouthwashing, and I was like, absolutely not. No.
What's it about? What's the premise?
I have not played it, disclaimer, but I guess it's a science fiction horror where they're in a ship that breaks down, and the only thing that's left is the cargo they were transporting, and they eventually break into it out of desperation, and it's nothing but mouthwash, and they all start subsisting on that and go insane. I straight up will not be playing it, and you cannot make me. It terrifies me. I was one of those people that could barely make it through the Zelda games on N64 because they're scary.
Wow, because the scariness. I don't know. There's something about it. I wish Zach would do it. He won't. So then I have to play alone, and that's no fun. But I like scary games. So I know I love your lanyards. I need to do something with mine. I wanna do a lanyard wall or something.
I do like it. I will admit it's a little bit of an exaggeration because all the ones from here over are Comic-Con badges. So not Comic-Con capital CTM, local geek cons. But
bye Danny. Dinner time. Yeah, we gotta go too. My little guy just got home. We gotta go see how his day went.
Yeah, I got distracted. Yeah, for that video games. Bindle managed it again. I swear Bindle's goal is always to get on and distract us. And I was being so good.
I don't think it's difficult for him to achieve such a goal.
He's figured out exactly the right buttons to push. All right, we're signing off.
We are. We're actually leaving. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next Friday. We have another guest in store for you, so we hope you come back, hang out with us. But if not, I hope your weekend's rocking, and we'll see you next time.
Join the Discord. Come talk to me about video games on the Discord. Why are you guys not doing that?
Here's a really blurry QR code.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.